Hi everyone, welcome to Dine and Talk with Abby. I am your host, Abigail Boatemaa. You're tuned in for another fun day, Sunday. Okay, so we're gonna continue on our weight loss journey. So we've been talking a lot about how, we can maintain our weight. But this week, I actually had someone, I bumped into someone and they asked me, Abby, we've been talking a whole lot about this weight loss. So is there no trick? Like, is there something that I can eat that will make me feel fuller? Like, is there anything? So as we were having this conversation, it prompted me to talk about our topic for today. So we're going to talk about fiber. With Dine and Talk, we don't gatekeep. We love to share. So we're going to talk about fiber and its importance in weight maintenance. So if you've heard about fiber, I think we talk about how it's good with, like bulking up our stool, making us do the number 2 with ease. Yes, that is not wrong. But there is something else or some important factor that comes with fiber as well. So first, let's look at fiber. It's classified into 2 types. We have soluble fiber and we have insoluble fiber. So the soluble fiber is the fiber that dissolves in water and form a gel-like substance. So when you eat that, it dissolves in water. And it has a whole lot of things that it can do for the body. It has a whole lot of importance. So for example, it slows digestion. It helps controls blood sugar. So the fact that it's slowing digestion, you already know what I'm going to talk about. It's helping you feel fuller, right? And the fact that it's not spiking your sugar up and down, it's also helping you with that. You're hungry, like you're not craving food. You're not getting hungry because everything is on that smooth scale, right? So that is one of the things that I love to talk about. So one of the first important things is that soluble fiber slows digestion. And it has some other properties like, it helps lower cholesterol by binding to the bile acids, and then it helps us excrete some of it out. But that will be another topic when we get to the cholesterol side. But, I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, it helps with satiety. You're feeling full. It has that bulkiness, so it helps you feel full. It's also fermentable, so it helps with your gut. Gut health is really, really good. So that will be the soluble fiber. And when we talk a little bit more, I will go over some of the foods that we can find these fiber from. Also, we have insoluble fiber. So the insoluble fiber does not dissolve in water. So the insoluble fiber is what we usually talk about. It adds bulk to the stool. So it promotes that regular bowel movements. It helps with gut health. And then it just helps with the GI tract. Everything that has to do with the movement of the foods. It makes everything so smooth. God is just amazing the way, he made all these foods that can help with the body. You really don't even have to take certain medications if you're eating well. And as we always talk about, eating varieties will help you. So for the soluble fiber that helps with weight maintenance, let's talk about some foods that we can find soluble fiber in. And before we talked about the foods, I also just want to point out that fiber is not something that I can give you one specific food and say, okay, this food just have fiber. So with each food that we are eating, we're getting multiple nutrients from it. However, some foods have some higher content of certain nutrients. So there are some foods that might have fiber, but it might not be that strong content of fiber. And we have some other foods that really, really have a higher content of fiber. So those are the ones that we're going to talk about. And the first one is oats. Oats. That's why we talked about having your oats in the morning. Eat your oats for breakfast. Oats is just a feel-good meal. It's just when you eat oats in the morning, it helps bulk you up. You feel that fullness, and then you're just drinking water throughout the day. And mind you, If you're having the oats, you cut some berries, like strawberries, you sprinkle a little bit of blueberries, you put in a little bit of your nuts, like your almonds, your pistachios, just a whole variety. And then you can put a little bit of milk if you want. And then that right there is a balanced meal for you. So you're getting a lot of nutrients. You're getting vitamins, you're getting minerals, and you're getting that fiber. So it's staying in you. Your blood sugar for the morning is gonna be consistent. It's not gonna be up and down, up and down. It's gonna be a smooth ride for you. So for someone that have diabetes, I will highly encourage oats as well. And for someone that want to maintain their weight, I will also encourage oats. Now let's talk about something else. We also have barley and beans. So beans and barley. So beans, for us Ghanaians, most of our foods already have beans. So when you're making our wache, let's make sure we put a lot of beans. Don't just put a little beans and then put baking soda just so you can get that brown color for the wache. Please do put a lot of beans in there and put your rice in there as well. So then you're getting that nutrient, the right nutrients. Okay, also lentils. Make your lentil soup, your lentil stews. If you don't know the recipe, very soon we're going to start with the kitchen and we're going to go over a whole lot of recipes. So you really don't want to miss that. Okay, apples, most of our citrus fruits, pineapple, oranges. And when you're eating your orange, don't just don't just drink the juice. That's why I highly discourage juicing. Because you end up throwing away the fiber, the pulp. You need that for that fiber content. So don't just drink the mango. Make sure you're eating the whole fruit as well. The only thing you can eat is the ehono. I don't know how to say it in English. So if you know how to say ehono in English, I just put it in the comment section for me. But you know what I'm talking about. Make sure you're eating the orange juice and the fruit as well. Also carrots and most of our root vegetables, so like potatoes, our cassava, konkonte. Yes, konkonte is a very good source of fiber. So let's not only be eating fufu, pounded yam. Yes, although it does have cassava, konkonte too. We usually reserve konkonte for special occasions, and I never understand why we do that. But let's make it a habit and try to eat konkonte with soup as well. Okay. And then for some of the insoluble fibers, it can be your whole grain. So like your brown, your wheat, like your brown rice, nuts, and then some of the seeds that we have out there. So that's that. Let's look at how much fiber that we need, because depending on our age or our sex, sometimes some people need a higher content, some people do need lower. So for men under 50, if you're watching me, you need about 31 to 34 grams of fiber. 31 to 34 grams of fiber. And it's just hard for me to tell you that maybe having 2 cups of fruit or 3 cups of fruit is enough for fiber. I can't. But all I can do is that for 34 grams of fiber can maybe roughly be 2.5 cups. I think that's even over, but that's perfect. 2.5 cups of fruits and vegetables or your whole grains can give you that. So when we talk about varieties, that's the reason. If you're having your fruits in the morning, if you're having your fruits with your lunch, and if you're having your fruits with dinner, you're eating whole grains, and it's not just white rice or white bread. You're eating, your rye, your whole wheat bread. You're having your bran cereals, and it's not just the regular white stuff. Then you're best believe you're gonna get that fiber content for the day that you need. Okay, and also for women under 50, you need 25 to 28 grams of fiber. Also for men 51 and older, you need 28 grams. So I think the more you're aging, I think the less. But 28 and 34, not much difference, So for 51 and over, for men, you need about 28 grams. And for women, 51 and older, you need 22 grams of fiber. So choose varieties of foods, choose varieties of your fruits and vegetables, and then that can help. But I jotted down an example of a high fiber day and I wanted us to go over it. So if you're thinking, okay, what will be, how would I know I'm having enough fiber for the day? So for breakfast, if you're having bran flakes, you're having oatmeal, you're having any of the whole grains foods, and then you have maybe one medium banana, that will be good for you for the morning. Okay? Or you can have one medium apple, that will be good. For lunch, let's say you have 1 cup baked beans and then you have a half cup broccoli and then maybe you have some potatoes and then of course you're going to have your proteins and all that. But for fiber content, if you're having beans, you're having baked potatoes, that will be enough for you. And then maybe you can have a little bit of fruit as well if your portion is smaller. And also for dinner, you can have yams, you can have, your konkonte, you can have your brown rice, you can have your wheat, anything with, grains in there. You can have maybe a cup and then you have your spinach stew. So that will roughly be equivalent to a high fiber day. But if it's hard for you to just visualize it, just think about your fruits and vegetables. Eat your fruits and vegetables, eat your whole grains. Don't just eat white bread, eat your whole wheat breads as well. And that will be all for today. And I hope this answered some questions that you may have. For the next few weeks, I will come back here and share some other tips that can help us maintain our weight. If you have any questions or if you have anything else that you would like me to talk about, just feel free to share in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe. I love what the community you're doing out there. It's amazing, all the support. Please subscribe, share it to a friend, and I hope to see you next week. I hope you have a lovely weekday. Bye.